Good morning, children. Hope you are fine at home. Today, we will be reading a very interesting short moral story. So, today's story will teach us something important in life. In this picture, you can see a bow that has hit the target exactly at the center. So, today's story is about a young man who was excellent in his bow and arrow skills. Let's read the story. The name of the story is It's Only a Matter of Practice. Read along with me, children. Long, long ago, in far-away China, there lived an archer called Chen Yaozi. He was a very skilled archer and could perform wonderful feats of archery. So, children, far away in China, there was this man named Chen Yaozi who was a wonderful archer. Archer is someone who shoots arrows from a bow. In Hindi, we call it Dhanush Baan. So you can see a picture of Chen Yaozi with his bow and arrow. He had achieved a lot of fame in archery because he was too good at his game. He could hit the target exactly at the center point, no matter how far you place the target from him. He was very proud of these skills, and so he would love to show off his skills in front of a large crowd of people who would watch him. So, children, can you tell me, where did Chen Yaozi live? Yes, Chen Yaozi lived in faraway China. And what was Chen Yaozi? Chen Yaozi was a very skilled archer and could perform wonderful feats of archery. One day, he was practicing his skill in front of many admirers when he noticed an old man standing at the back. The man was carrying gourds of oil that were hanging from a long cane on his shoulder. All the other people were clapping their hands and praising Chen Yaozi. But this old man was quiet. He neither clapped nor uttered words of praise. He just stood there nodding his head and said, "It's just a matter of practice." So, children, one day, as usual, when Chen Yaozi was practicing his bow and arrow in front of a large crowd of people, he saw an old man at the back of the crowd. This old man was an oil trader. Oil trader means he used to sell oil. In olden days, children, we never had oil cans like we have today. The oil trader used to carry the oil in gourds. Can you see a picture of gourds shown to you? So gourds are containers or vessels made from dried large fruit with a hard skin. The top of the gourd has an open mouth, and through this The oil is poured into the gourd and stored. So this old man was carrying the gourds of oil on a long stick on his shoulders, and he was watching Chen Yaozi. The entire crowd of people was so happy to see Chen Yaozi showing his bow and arrow skills. So they were clapping their hands and praising him loudly. But Chen Yaozi noticed that the old man was not at all happy. He was just standing there at the corner and watching him. Neither was he clapping his hands and nor was he praising Chen Yaozi. He only stood there shaking his head and said, "It's just a matter of practice." So children, can you tell me what was the old man carrying? Yes, the old man was carrying gourds of oil that were hanging from a long cane on his shoulder. So now children, Chen Yaozi wanted to know why this old man wasn't praising him. So let's see what happens. Chen Yaozi was annoyed. Annoyed means he was very angry. He asked the old man, "Are you an archer yourself? Do you think anyone can do what I can do with my bow and arrows?" The old man replied, "No, sir. I am not an archer, and I don't doubt your skill. All I said was, everything's a matter of practice." So children, Chen Yaozi was very angry to see that the old man was just not happy or praising him for his archery skills. So he asked the old man if he was an archer or if he knew anyone who was as good as Chen Yaozi. So the old man replied, "No, sir, I am not an archer." And he also told Chen Yaozi that he was not doubting his archery skills. Means he knew that Chen Yaozi was good at archery. But he also said the same sentence again. Everything's a matter of practice. Which means everything that you do comes only after a lot of practice. So let's see what happens next. Chen Yaozi became very angry. "What do you know that you pass such thoughtless comments on other people? Who are you?" So because the old man again said the same statement, Chen Yaozi got very angry and told him that he should not talk about people like this without thinking. "Please don't get angry, sir. I am an oil seller, as you must have guessed from the gourds. Every day I fill these gourds with oil and sell them. Over the years, I have achieved some skill in filling the gourds. If you allow, I'll show it to you." Growled Chen Yaozi. Everybody was curious to see what would happen next. So children, what did the old man tell Chen Yaozi? He told him not to get angry with him. He told him that he was just an ordinary oil seller who sells oil every day. But with a lot of practice, he has learned some special skill in filling oil into the gourds, and he wanted to show Chen Yaozi his special skill. Chen Yaozi was a little angry, so he just growled. Growled means made a rough noise in anger. Now everybody was very eager and they wanted to see what is this special skill that this old man has that Chen Yaozi also doesn't know about. So let's see this skill now. Patiently, the old man set down an empty gourd on the ground. Then he put a small coin on the mouth of the gourd. In those days, small coins had a little hole at the center. Then the old man stood up, took some oil in his ladle, and began to pour the oil into the gourd from a height. The oil went straight into the gourd through the hole in the coin. When the old man had finished filling up the gourd, he lifted up the coin. Not a trace of oil could be seen on it. So children, as you can see in the picture, the man placed the gourd of oil on the ground. On the mouth, that is the top of the gourd, he placed an old coin. In olden days, children, the coins had a hole in the center, like the one in the picture. So the old man placed this coin at the top of the gourd. Then he stood up. He took his ladle filled with oil. Ladle is a long-handled spoon having a deep bowl for serving liquids. You must be having this kind of spoon in your house where you pour dal, you pour dosa atta or any other curry. So he took that spoon of his, filled it up with oil and stood up from the ground. So children, you can see the gourd is on the ground. The old man is standing up and holding the ladle of oil on top. Then, standing just like that, he poured the oil from his spoon into the gourd. The oil went through the hole of the coin into the gourd. But you know what was his special skill, children? When he removed the coin from the top of the gourd, there was not a single drop of oil on the coin. So what does that tell you? That the old man was so skilled in pouring the oil from the spoon into the gourd that the oil would go exactly into the hole of the coin and into the gourd. His hand never shook, so the oil never spilled anywhere around the coin. He was an expert in pouring oil in this way. Let's read further. The people watching it were speechless with wonder. This means the people who are watching all this were so shocked that they couldn't speak. But the old man only smiled. As I said, there's nothing special about it. It's only a matter of practice, you see. Again, he said the same thing, that there's nothing special about his skill. It's only because of practice that he could do this. Chen Yaozi lost all his anger and annoyance. He just gave a short laugh and said, "You have taught me something important today." After that, Chen Yaozi never showed off or boasted about his skill as an archer. So children, after watching the old man showing his skill, Chen Yaozi realized his mistake. He forgot all his anger and he laughed. And he told the old man that he had learnt an important lesson today. And after that day, Chen Yaozi never showed off his skill in public. So he lost all his pride. That was the end of the story, children. Now can you tell me, what did the old man put on the mouth of the goat? Yes, a small old coin. What did the small coin have at the center? It had a hole at the center. And what did Chen Yaozi lose? Chen Yaozi lost all his anger and annoyance. So the moral of this story is, practice makes a man perfect. So children, if you want to become perfect in anything, it just doesn't come in a day. You have to keep on practicing, keep on learning, and never give up. And one day, that practice will make you perfect. Isn't it a lovely lesson we learned today? Now let's answer the questions on the story. The first question is, who was Chen Yaozi? Who was he, children? Yes, he was a very skilled archer from China who could perform wonderful feats of archery. The second question, what did he like? What did Chen Yaozi enjoy? He liked to show off his skill of archery to the admiring crowds that gathered around him. The third question, what did the old man say? So what was that sentence that the old man kept saying? It's just a matter of practice. Fourth question, what could the old man do? Describe it in one sentence. So you have to use only one sentence and talk about the skill of the old man. The old man could pour oil into the gourd from a height through the hole of a small coin placed on the mouth of the gourd without any trace of oil on the coin. And the last question, what did Chen Yaozi tell the old man at the end? Yes, he told the old man that he had taught him something very important. Now children, use the following words and make your own sentences. The first word is show off. I will give you some examples of sentences but I want you to try using them and make your own new sentences. Show off. Raul got his new toy to school so he could show off in front of his friends. Second word, annoyed. Annoyed means getting angry. My mother got annoyed with me as I didn't study all day long. Third word, doubt. Something or someone. Doubt means you don't trust. I doubt we can go to school soon in this lockdown. Fourth words, if you allow. So if you give me permission. So the sentence is, if you allow me, I will go to the shop. Next is, not a trace. There was not a trace of dirt in the classroom. Means there was not a single speck of dirt anywhere in the class. And the last word is boasted. Boasted means again to proudly show off. The sentence is, Sia boasted about her new car. So these were some examples, children. Do try making your own sentences. And the third question says, if you were to master one skill, what would you like to learn? How will you learn it? Now your children, each child will answer it differently. They are asking you any skill that you want to learn. And how will you become an expert in that skill? Just like Chen Yaozi and the old man. So you have to think of something which you want to really do and you know you can become an expert in it. You also have to tell how will you learn that skill. That was all for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. And I also hope you learned a very important lesson. Practice makes a man perfect. So children, whatever you do, practice it till you become perfect in it. Thank you children and have a nice day.